Crack open my eye. Ooh, it smell like dope. I gotta have it fresh, so I go to the safe store.
All right, we back in the building, rocking red. Hey, it's been a minute. We're back up in the house. We took a little break, cause life with me. What's been up with you? What is it? I mean, it's work, it's kids, it's track meets, it's you name it, it's life. What's been up
Yeah,
with you?
man, just the same old stuff, man. Just trying to get back in the swing of things for work after the holidays or whatnot. And well,
Yeah,
here we are, spring break time, I guess. So
still
time
holiday.
flies, time flies, man. I don't know. And
Yeah, it does. Shoot, you lucky you ain't got no kids, man. Kids will make time go 10 times faster because you sitting there watching them, or you got to hit the realization that your oldest child is 25. That means you are old AF.
yeah,
It hits you quickly. So yeah, they'll speed up that little timetable. So you lucky that you're single. Speaking of single, which you was asking me about earlier on Facebook. All right, so with the pictures. All
yeah.
right, single people.
I saved that. I'm going to reference that right now because I we're going to talk about it. You said
All right.
single people. I know it's spring and y'all horny, but please back away from the phone just a little bit. Hashtag
Yes.
I'm single close up. I didn't know what that
Yes.
meant. So
All right. So it's like it's a I don't know if it's a known thing, but I constantly talk about it with single people. It's like the more single they get, the closer the phone get to their face. You can know people they super single and super that now the phone's all the way up in here. like like you can't even see them but half their face. That's almost like desperation. But it seems like the more single people get, the closer the phone gets to them. Keep it at arm's length. Y'all arms are not that short out there. I know some of y'all can stretch it. Get the phone.
women and men, right?
Yes,
Both.
man. Yes, men
Yeah.
and women. Dudes. Oh, man. It used to be just women. But I would say in the last 2, 3, man, my homeboys got more selfies and they post more selfies than females. It used to be you could just show the gram and you'd be all right. Now you gonna end up seeing your uncle, see your cousin.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
everybody, and it's not not to shoot shade at nobody. It's just the culture. Everybody's doing it, but it's a lot more dudes do it too. But the singleness you can tell by the closeness of their phone. So y'all just back that phone up. Just a little advice, back the phone. Just full extend the arm. Do some yoga. Get some full extension on that thing. Get
Yeah, man.
set it up and put a time on it, if you will.
I remember I was a late bloomer to Facebook. I joined in like 2013 or 2014, and that was my first social media ever. And I hate the first Facebook because I hate the first picture I took because I was like, I need a Facebook. I'm starting from scratch. I need and I did that. And you could probably scroll back to my very first one and see it if you wanted
I
to.
kind of remember it was like mostly eyes and glasses. Like
I did that, and then I grabbed like a handful of pictures that I had from my life, and I took them and I like threw them up there so I would have something because I'm starting from scratch, and that was the beginning of it all. And God knows if that was a good idea or not. I have a few people, 1 or 2 friends who have stayed off social media completely, 100%. And that's probably done wonders for their mental health.
Yeah, Cap's not on. Cap's not. He got off Facebook for
I mean,
obvious
never
reasons.
been on in their life. I mean,
Never in their life. Oh, I don't. I mean, I just got too. I got too much going on. I'm too much of a output type person not to have social media.
Yeah.
I put out so much. It would just be evil of me to try to make my wife have to witness all of this that I put out. I probably
That would
need
be
a couple of different
that would be
outlets.
awful.
Yes,
But
to have to deal with all
there's
this. That I put out.
probably more good than harm that's come from the last decade or so of me being on social media. I'd say I can absolutely.
Yeah, I got businesses. My ministry is fully online, so that's I wouldn't even have that because if I had to like seriously and no shade to any church that I've ever been to, especially the churches that True Grace and New Beginnings, them are peoples. Y'all still my peoples. But if I had to like go to school, not online. I go to CLI, Christian Learning Institute. It's online and it's totally free to me. I tithe to it every month. That's why I pay my tithes. But I go to class online. If I had to go to college and then had to go to a church to preach, I would probably be. I mean, I've been doing this for 4 years now, and I've preached. Last year I preached over 100, over 70 sermons that year. I probably would be at sermon number 4 or 5 or something like that, just trying to find the time for schooling and the church and the crowd and now, like I say, everybody's always got their phone in them. And sermon preaching sermons is like performing a rap song. You don't care if you got a million people in the crowd or one. As long as you got one raising their hands, you got a fan and you about to rock this. So people, sermons, they go up and down and people watch them and it's cool whenever they get to them, but they always be there, and it's my outlet where I, do my thing with the word of God. So it's without that, I wouldn't even have no outlet. Like I say, it would be rough to do what I do and how I do it at the rate that I do it. Like I'm getting ready to go through the fasting for 30 days. I couldn't take over nobody's church for 30 days and preach every day for 30 days. You know what I'm saying? Where I'm gonna be able to do that at? Nowhere. So without online, I wouldn't have that. So yeah, definitely good stuff came out of it. And it could be some bad stuff. I've had some if you've been on my page long enough, you didn't see me go through at least right on social media one full rough 10 years of relationship and a divorce that was not pretty, where I literally took out a hashtag to get her to sign the papers, divorce papers, because she wouldn't sign them, and literally was like, tell Alicia sign them papers. Like,
I'm not sure.
It's been bad moments. It's been some bad moments.
Well, that could segue into what I was going to begin with, just as far as current events, because it is social media, and whether it's that ties into a lot of things these days, is that I think about as far as would life be better or worse if this sort of thing had never been invented? As far as it goes with technology, are you following what's happened with this bank failure, Silicon Valley Bank?
I think that's they say they call it trickle down economics. I think we all knew that something was gonna come with the economy. We know they was giving out too much money from the COVID. Inflation's crazy, prices are rising. That usually, means recession. Recession kind of hit, but it didn't really stop most people. Everybody still got their Netflix and their HBO, and they still got cable. They still buying shoes from Nike and buying Jordan. So ain't nobody really stopped nothing, but it had to hit somebody. And it hit the people who were lending all that money out. It hit the banks. And so I think it's an inevitable thing. And again, everybody out there watching, if you haven't changed it up and you hadn't found a new source of income to supplement, you might need to get you one. Jobs ain't gonna be giving out overtime. If you're in business, they're not gonna be knocking down your door. You're gonna have to savor every customer you get, treat them like they're their last, and take care of them, talk to them like they're your sister. Shoot, I text mine, hey man, it's a hailstorm out there. You look out your window, see what's going on. I'm still trying to get you that roof on the insurance. Become that friend, man. That's the way you got to be in this economy. But you definitely gotta move different. And if you're not moving different, man, you need to change it up. You need to talk to God, do what you need to do. Like me, I got to do yoga now just to make it through my day. I need like 5-6 minutes of yoga, a workout, a couple J's. I probably need me a Heineken at the end of the day most days. So this,
I definitely need to get back to yoga, but that's a different story. I could go to the gym I go to, and I should, but and I will. What was I gonna say? Damn. Go ahead, man. Sorry.
What do you think? I mean, what do you think about social? I mean, the banking system. You think
You're right when you said it had to hit somebody, because it wasn't directly any of those things that you said. But I finally, it's a complicated source of events and what happened. And I'm not even going to try to explain it because I'll do a poor job of it. But it comes down to really a lack of regulation in places where there should have been, a lack of accountability with this company because they didn't have a person in place to see this risk coming. But
Yeah.
it was a the way they bundle it was the way that that bank was using the funds that had been deposited in it by creditors, which were all of those companies in Silicon Valley. They had bought bonds with them where they were
Hmm.
locked into an interest rate, and as the interest rates went up, their bonds became worth nothing, and at the same time they had to be sold in order to provide liquidity when people started running to the banks. So it caused a run. It's something that could happen anywhere, but you know, with these smaller banks and this one being very few individuals, but a lot of businesses and mostly Silicon Valley businesses, it hit hit that particular sector. But I mean, I don't know how that could affect normal people, but it's the beginning of something that could.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I gotta disagree with you. I think you explained it pretty good right there. That was pretty much the
that's
nuts and
just
bolts of
watching a lot of
that.
people. I might be off on a little bit of it, and I don't have my notes with me, but and I'm just beginning to try to understand it. But I always try to look down the road to see where things, might be going for you and me and regular people when this kind of
Yeah.
stuff affects us.
Yeah,
Because
I try to, but I've learned over the years that too much focusing on what everybody else doing don't never do nothing for me. So when stuff like this happens, I go inside. Like I fast, I work, I make sure I'm doing everything and being the best me I can be. And if I'm doing that, man, F the world could be falling apart. If I'm on top of this game and I'm on fire, I'm on fire. You know what I'm saying? And so I try to move like that and try to like my blessings ain't attached to what the world going on and the God that I praise, man, it don't matter about no recession. I didn't made it through a couple, three of them and still been right there. So uh, I gotta, know he gonna bring me through it. So I go inside and make sure I'm praying as much as I can. I'm working out. I'm at peace with what I'm doing, but I'm moving at all times. I'm trying to get better in everything that I'm doing and trying to make sure the situation is not, just well, it's bad out there. Ain't nothing I can do about it. Nah, doing everything you can. Like I say, making that one extra sales call, calling that extra customer again. Checking back with them after 6 months, seeing make like I say, make them tell you no till they get a roof from somebody else. Just keep
yeah,
going that extra mile and checking back. Sales call, whatever you got to do, whatever it is. If it's at your job, making sure your butt get up and get out the bed and get to work on time, so they don't fire the first people that's lacking. You know what I'm saying? So whatever it is, just make sure you're doing. I think more. You know, I think if we all focus on us more, the world will be a better place, and we focus on what's happening out there too much, and that it's good to know, but it can really throw you off, man, because a lot if you start believing it's bad out there, now you got the belief in your brain, you stopping your blessings from happening because you believe the bad more than you believe God got good for you. So you got to keep your focus on you and rather than what the world is, because the world always gonna be changing, man. They're gonna be going through something now while we here, and when we dead and gone, the world's still gonna be changing. It was changing before we was here. So in recessions, they come, they go, they come, they go. Every generation has them. Some little worse than others. Now we got pandemics. It's always gonna be something. So we always gonna have to change and adapt, man. And as my dad would say, man, if you ain't changing and growing every day, you dying.
yeah.
So
No, you're absolutely right, because throughout my life and even in the recent years, the little periods of time where I've thought, well, what is this going to mean for us, and da da da. Day
yeah,
in and day out throughout all of this, nothing has really changed for me. And if there wasn't the news and what we know is going on in the world, there would be very little. There would be visible stuff that's different from day to day. There's
yeah,
more crime. There's more homelessness. There's more of that. It's a thing that I see. Um,
yeah,
however, the point that I wanted to point out though was this. I mean, there is that, and I try my best to always keep a positive mindset regardless of any of that. But the fact remains, this was the second largest bank failure in the history
Yeah.
of bank failures. So I mean, I will from here on out, not go doom and gloom as far as that sort of thing is concerned. But just know that there is some serious shit afoot in the financial industry.
Yeah.
That probably could happen. There could be some more bank failures.
Yeah,
But
I think
don't
man,
go
that's
moving any
why.
money around unless it's in
Yeah,
a risky place.
I definitely that's just not my that's not my lane right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Being in that sector of it, dibble and dabble a little bit, but ain't nothing that got no commas behind it, so it ain't doing too much. But my thing is like I think every now and then, like we get these resets in different things, and like COVID reset us like culturally and worldwide. It reset everybody family wise. It really made people realize like I really don't like my spouse. People got divorced and want to kill people, or they realize my kid's really stupid, or man, they smarter than me and I really can't do their work. Like it made you realize something about yourself. When you realize you're a fat little couch potato, you'll sit there and just chip it out and not move and not wash your butt for 4 or 5 days and sit there and do whatever. We realized some stuff about us with COVID. I think this financial thing gonna make you realize some things about you financial. Like I say, the bank's crashing, but hey, man, ain't nobody stopping buying rims. Ain't nobody stopping buying car. Everybody balling. Everybody still out there living regular. Ain't nobody. I ain't seen nobody yet say, man, I cut all the cable off. All I got is a fire
Well,
stick.
well, that's the thing though, is that it's this, and that's another thing I was going to get into is that it's a I don't it's a different level of money that almost isn't real because most of these companies don't these tech companies they actually don't generate money to begin. I don't know any of them that really do. A lot of them they're not building a thing, they're building an app or whatever. It makes me happy that you and I at the end of the day do something that is a literal brick and mortar service that
Yeah,
people will always need. And it's
yeah,
funny how people can run around, people can make bills for this and that, people can think they're better than you, but at the end of the day, houses are always going to need to be built, and then we're in a housing shortage in Houston, so somehow we're in a good spot. I think I don't. It's refreshing. I don't know where these sort of jobs go that we have. Like if we're talking about roofing, we're talking about this and that. They're not glamorous, but there's always going to be a need for somebody to build fences, to do yard work, to do these things. But
yeah, and I doubt if they'll ever robots. They'll never be able to like use robots for this either because of the difference of terrains, backyards, and all this stuff. It's something that people will always have to do and had to do before we had tools at the beginning of the time. So it's always going to be there. But yeah,
we're talking about these speculative, and it's actually not anything that these tech companies have done wrong at all, and it's not even anything shady their bank did. It's something neglectful, and it just has to do. It actually ultimately has to do with the fact that interest rates were raised so fast, but they were done at a delayed rate. They waited till it was almost too late, and then they did them quickly. And that affected, believe that or not, that affects all sorts of things that are in motion already. And that's what happened to these people is they weren't able to cover the debt that they were holding within their bonds for this particular bank. So it's shit that you have to, even these people that get paid to do this, you have to almost be looking for it to even see that it could happen, or you have to ignore it. And I think that these people mostly ignored it, but it's crazy how the money that you put somewhere could be being played with. You know what I'm saying? And it is being played with.
I think if nothing else, it should be circulating right now. Enron taught us, like in Houston, I feel like it taught us that you could put your money, work hard, have all your money in there, and it could be your whole retirement, hundreds of thousands. and these companies can flat out just pop you with a zero and you
Mhm.
stuck. So I feel like in Houston, that's why we're one of the most recession-proof cities, because we realize you can bust your butt, spend your whole life, and you can get in run at the end. And we
Yeah.
didn't see it happen. And everybody, nah, they can't do those people. Yeah, they did those people like that. And they sat there, took all that money, and they vacationed, and you got a slap on the wrist, and took these people money, and these people had to start over. So we didn't seen it happen. And if it can happen once, dude, it can happen again. Again, this was a not just no little mom and pops. This is a mega company conglomerate of plenty, and they're backed by bonds and all these other financial entities. And when they fall, like you say, it's just not. This is much bigger than that. But when anything big falls, if a big tree fall right now, it's gonna hit some bushes. It's not gonna go straight to come to the grass. It's gonna hit some bushes, some medium trees. It's gonna knock off some limbs off big trees that you ain't even know was attached to that. It's some vines that's on this tree going to that tree you don't even see. And when that tree falls, it's gonna snatch that. And that's just how the whole avalanche of the big, and it's just our society the way it's based right now, man. We all tied together, bro. Like we can try to fight it, we can ignore it, but somehow we all tied together. Like they say, what is I mean, Vanguard? How many different big banks? I mean, it's like three of them, and three. Like, come on, like three. All this money in the world is three. Like, come on, like, but that means that somehow or another your 401k and your retirement, your Roth, and we're somehow all tied together. And if one of those big suckers go down, all we can do is start doggone manning the ships like we on the Titanic.
Yeah, there's a guy who was one of the head. I can't recall his name right now. One of the heads of this bank that just failed, who was also part of Lehman Brothers, who was also part of Enron. He played all these CFO, Chief Information Officer roles. Three different major failures, and he's a part of this
That
one.
is absolutely.
And I'm like, how the fuck do these people?
Yes, no.
They are allowed to remain in these industries, and they go on to be in charge of other major failures. Like, how does this happen?
I don't even know how that's legal. That should be illegal.
I'm saying. I mean, I'm just, and this is probably. Have you seen the movie The Big Short? I'm not sure if I asked you that before on here. I feel like
I've seen.
Talked about
Yeah.
But anyways, that blew my mind. But all of this stuff, I'm no economist or finance guy at all, but God, I should have gone to school for it, because I wouldn't want to be an evil son of a bitch and steal money, but it's fascinating how it can be done. But
I got a couple people on my page like Steven. Steven would be nice. We asked Steven to, do the play. Steven he's nice. He got a nice brain on him, but he also knows, because he maneuvers in that every day.
He'd be able to explain this.
Yes, he would break it down literally. He's done it in one post, and I would read that post and learn more in one post about this big. I'm not talking about 5 scrolls. Then I could get from like 30 minutes of watching, news, and be like, man, you just broke that down, or that actually makes sense. But yeah, shout out to Steven, man. But shout out to his sons too, man. Both his sons just got, full rides to Alabama Road Tide. That is awesome, bro. Shout out to them boys, bro. Yeah, he was telling me that early in the week. Both of them got full rides to Alabama and dorm room pay for the first freshman year. Man, that's just blessing upon blessing right there. Shout out to them, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I think it's criminal to let anybody involved with Enron, Sally Mae, anything like that. If you were involved with the first one and we let you back, what they say, I hate to quote Bush, but give me once, shame on me, give you twice, shame on me, ain't it? Like, why would you let him back in? Why is that legal?
It's crazy that this is one of the only things where they will, and they bailed, these people got bailed out, and I actually agree with it, because if they hadn't done it, I know what that would have meant. It would have been the guaranteed destruction of our economy. So I don't even fight it. But there's always that argument to be made that's the right argument, that, where is any money that you're going to give them now when you have these people in East Palestine, Ohio, or Flint, Michigan, or any numbers, but especially these sort of things that are happening right now that they chose to ignore
Yeah.
for the most part, and do that. It's a sick, sad world, but it's terrifying how quickly the economy can fall apart, and it could. No, I shouldn't say the economy, but finance.
Yeah. Well,
which will trickle down to just people who
man,
don't have the money to invest in anything.
I hate to quote, I don't know what you call it, TikTok rapper. I don't even know what this little white kid is, but he's got a verse that he spit, man, and I heard on TikTok. And he says that, man, the one thing that if you should have learned from all this stuff, COVID, all the stuff that's happened in the last few years, that this life that we live in right now is really fragile. It doesn't take much to rattle it, man.
Are you
We're
talking
all.
about Tom McDonald? McDonald?
It might be something like that, man. He's sitting on black screen. He's just ripping the verse.
White dude with tattoos on his face, or no?
No. He's straight laced looking. No,
Gotcha.
I'm not. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know. He's a TikTok guy. I don't know. I saw the verse the other day. It was an impressive verse. It caught my attention for a second, and I literally spend 15 to 20 minutes on TikTok. It's limited a day, and I literally catch up on it just to see how retarded it's getting, and it is out of hand retarded. But it's amazing to watch the progress of retardedness grow in the whole world at the same time.
Talk about that.
You're not supposed to use that word retarded, but ain't no other word to describe what the heck is happening on TikTok.
Some sort of behavior deserves it, man. It's bad, man, and you shouldn't be afraid to say that at this point. And by the way, we used to be able to say that word, and people didn't get offended by it, and that's just, I
don't know what to tell them. I think with the realization I've gotten to the other day, you could probably attest to this. I realized that I run my own business and I have my own things so that I don't have to answer to anybody. And I wish somebody would tell me what I can't say right now. I'm just getting too old for somebody telling me what I can't say. But we have our own platforms. We have our own thing. So we can't say what we want. And I'm just not finna censor myself for people I don't even know. And I don't know what you gonna do. What you gonna do? Cancel me for saying retarded? But I guess if you do, you retarded. So that too.
But yeah, we could go on to that, but I'll stick with the TikTok thing because I've made a conscious decision never to join TikTok. I haven't joined Instagram because I don't need enough. Facebook is stupid enough, and that's where I stopped. That's where I started. I don't need another thing, but I know that in China, where this comes from, that they have a different version of TikTok. It's not with the garbage that they feed us, from what I'm told. And have you heard this before? It's a whole different version of it. And
no, but I would assume it is.
I mean, they have control of it, so they are feeding the propaganda or whatever you call the bullshit that's on there to America in the West.
And I would say most of the that's okay. That's our 10 minutes right there. But yes, I would say, all right, so back to question way back at the beginning when you said the worst of social media. TikTok is the worst of social media. And the reason and I'm not gonna say it's and let me see the reason why. As everybody say, it's just a good algorithm because it gives you what you want. Whether you like, I don't follow anybody on TikTok. I refuse to follow anybody on TikTok. I'm not. I have a TikTok that's just Shock the World TV. And it's because that's why I'll take snippets from our show, snippets from the sermons. I post them to TikTok because that's the way the media is moved. Instagram has imitated TikTok. Every other platform has imitated TikTok because TikTok, all you see in the stories in Instagram, everything now is TikToks. So TikTok has already taken over. So because I'm I don't know what you would call it. I'm not going to be too left behind when it comes to technological stuff because I'm a computer geek by nature and just always have been and always will be. So if it's on the computer, I'm effing with it for real. I'm a fan because I'm gonna be on. So
when I'm on YouTube, either way, I get your shorts and I'll click on them and I like for Shock the World or
Yeah.
your sermons and yours and anybody else that I normally watch on YouTube or wherever else on Facebook. When I see them there, I click on them and I'm like, yeah, I like that little snippet. It's entertaining. So I'm not against the premise of it. It's just that it seems, and again, I have not spent any time on TikTok, but I've seen examples of what's on there. Seems to be just degenerate bullshit for the most part. Like there's nothing you can convey in 15 seconds for the most part.
I've seen some things. All right, so this is all right. Social media is like I say, we could talk about the good parts, but I could talk about the dark and the dirty parts. It's literally that. The problem with TikTok is the algorithm is set up to give you a hypersensitive version of whatever you just got. So if you watch one video and you like this one, because it's literally like, I don't know where the black man and the black woman fight came from. And they say it's on TikTok because of TikTok. And I'm like, black women and black men been fighting since slavery, ever since we was pitted against each other so we can keep the family apart. So I don't know why y'all think that started on TikTok. That's just part of systematic slavery that y'all say don't exist, but it's there on TikTok. So we can come back to that
particular
another
video
podcast.
or like is that a particular video or like a
No,
hashtag?
that's many. No, man. If you go now, it is literally like the war
hashtag
against,
black women
because it's what happened is black women, because of Kevin Samuels, rest in peace, his shine on there. He put a light on mostly black women because these black women and women of color were calling in and actually asking for it. So I do not I'm not mad at nothing he did and everything he said. I ain't gonna say everything he said was factual, but 95% of what he said was dead on cue. Like people didn't want to hear it. But I loved him too. I had never seen a Kevin Samuels video that I didn't love and watch. So that could be said too. But that spirit was thriving on that app, and even after his death, it's still thriving. You still see Kevin Samuel videos, and so it put a light on black women that I has been married to for one coming law, 3 married black women, all black women, and now being married to another race. You don't want to hear my take on it. It's gonna probably hurt your feelings because as much as I love black women, I love my mama, my sister, my cousin, my aunties, everybody in my family. I can't be in a relationship with a black woman because of the hurt and pain inflicted on me by a black woman. That's just me particular. But that don't mean I don't like black women. Don't mean I don't love them. I'm raising 6 black women, always still loving them. But that back and forth between a black and woman, it's on shine on TikTok. And it's because white women feel like they're attacked because they can't just say I love a black man on there. They get attacked, and it's white women saying that, but it's also white women professing their love for black men on there as well, saying it's okay. And then why is it not okay to say I love a black man? You can say you love white women. Y'all can call them pogs. Y'all can make this. You can do that. You can make all this. You can have brown bunnies and all this stuff, but you cannot have love for a black man. So all this stuff is getting shine on TikTok in a different way. And then it, like I say, it hypersensitivized. So if you watch one, you get more of it. You can watch any video about anything, and you're going to get more of it, but in a hypersensitivized way. And then you got the, and like I say, it's an algorithm that feeds it like like no other. Like it's not like there's nothing that I can relate it to. It's better than any other app as far as feeding you BS. It is literally it's in the back of your mind somehow.
Wouldn't you say everything you just described causes division between all of those groups you just mentioned? Black women, black men, white women who like black men, and all of it. Does that do anything good for anybody? It doesn't seem like unless I misunderstood.
All of this stuff has always been here, and no, it doesn't do good for anybody. Right. But the problem is the algorithm is there to feed you what you want, so people get.
And it has always been there. But just the way that they hypersensitize it, like you said, that's the best way to describe it, or just amplify it.
It's amplifying it to you, like, and so now where, say you may have felt this way about something situation, now you can see at 60 to 3 minutes at a time, you can see 400 of them in a few hours, and you can see the same thing over. So it like reconfirms it in you and makes it even worse.
It's very
and most of the
unjust.
stuff that
Yeah.
it's feeding is not a good place to be.
Yeah.
It's understandable. It's understandable if you're single and you want black love and you can't find it out there for you to be frustrated. It's understandable if you in an interracial relationship and you deal with some stuff and people don't understand it, can't deal with it. Hey, it's understandable. But the issue is they take it, and I ain't gonna say it's way past exploiting it. Because they don't like put you on blast. They give you way more of it. But we have to take the accountability again. If we looking into ourselves and not out at the world, we won't have this. And too many people looking out at TikTok. Like I say, I literally 15, 20 minutes. Ooh, that's it for TikTok for the day. I'm done.
Yeah,
Because
and
it's
from
the first
you,
time.
so you're telling me they're talking about things that it sounds like things that make people provide people discomfort about maybe themselves or their situation or how they feel or something like that. And then they dig into you with their claws on that once they realize that. So no wonder people, it's no wonder people feel almost mentally ill about certain things and are very anxious about certain things. Young people, if they don't know how to interact with the world like we used to, like it's a gift that we know we spent 2 decades, almost three, without anything,
Without
but
without
cell phones, and maybe 3 decades for you and I before we really had smartphones. Just a different, I don't know. Not that tell your kids to go outside and play, man. That's what I always come back to. Obviously, your kids do, and your
yeah. I don't have I ain't got no grandkids yet. I'm
not
getting
grandkids.
close.
I'll back up, but like,
Yeah,
I
not
don't
yet.
know.
But I'm working on. I'm working on. I'm getting close to where I'm like I want some grandkids, but I ain't there yet.
I think there's ways around this. I think kids, and maybe I have a feeling there might be a point where kids start rejecting this stuff and they want to go back to this.
We need a revolution of kids. Forget the revolution of grown folks. I think with COVID, I saw it. I saw kids back outside, kids on bikes doing it, and it was there for a second because they couldn't go nowhere. So kids were back in the
Take it
yard.
away for a little while, and people realize how great it is. And
1 minute.
1 minute. I think those kids. I think some of these kids are going to be the ones that pull us out. I pray to God of a lot of the BS in the future that has been created and that will be created. And that's me. That's me being positive. I'm trying to be. If that's not
I mean, well, shoot, it's always better to be positive. I mean, you can say it like it is, but man, I hope it's some kid that comes up with something that shocks us, literally shocks the world, the way it changes all our thinking. That where we all just go back to that and realize we need that. It is a must. It's something that's vital to our existence as much as breath. It's food.
Yeah.
And
are we talking about family? Because I'm kind of just talking about family in general, and that
not only family, but being outside and being a well-rounded person altogether.
Yes. Family, love for community, love for common respect for the next human, things that I think we used to have a little bit more of.
Yeah, man. Hopefully we get more of it in the future. Hey, man, Rockin' Red, we out.
Crack open my eye. It smell like trouble.